Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dubai Job Search with Winning Strategy with myself, Meet Speaker, and my amazing fellow co-host, Trisha Chapman. Welcome, guys. So if you're joining us today, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be looking at the reason why landing a job offer doesn't mean career success, and we're going to be talking about 5 ways of how to thrive in your new job. And Trisha's got a whole load of tips, 5 top tips that you can be using to make sure that you're being seen as an asset with your new employer. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Meet Speaker. I work internationally with graduates, helping them stop struggling and start thriving in their careers. And I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Trisha. Trisha, for people that don't know you, what should they know about you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Always great to catch up. I'm Trisha Chapman, the managing partner of Impressive CV, where we focus on all of the necessary tools for a successful job application. And I'm super excited for today's episode.
So today we're going to be diving into, we're going to be talking about, so for many of you who've been following us and who've been applying so many of our techniques and tips and hacks that we've been providing for you, perhaps you're now at a point in your job search where you've got multiple job offers and you've now accepted a job offer. And as much as that comes with lots of excitement, there can also be some anxiety, and we know that there can be anxiety around starting a new job, and rightly so, because it can be quite nervous, especially if you've been with your previous employer for quite some time, and you know now the culture of that company, and now you're wondering, well, what's the culture of this company, new company going to be with? And you want to, for most of our clients, Trisha, right, they want to make a good first impression. How do you do that? What is the most powerful and most effective way of how people can make that great first impression? So let's jump right in and talk about the 5 ways of how to thrive in your new job. So what's tip number 1, Trisha?
I think it's important that you understand, hang on, let me just take a step back. It is a great question. And do you know, I've prepared something because there's a lot of organizations at the minute that are asking candidates, even in the interview process. So what as your first 30, 90 days, what is it going to look like? So yes, you've landed the opportunity, or, you've landed your job, and you may be asked to prepare something. What are you going to do what are you going to give to your boss to be able to showcase what you're going to be doing? But this is also a tool that you can be using to support your process during interviews, or the organization may ask you for this. So I love
that, Trisha. I love that, Trisha, that actually not only are we talking to candidates, not only are we talking to job seekers who've got job offers, but actually we're also helping those of you. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my God, ladies, I'm not even at that point where I've got job offers coming in, this tip and these tips that you're going to share with us now will also help and benefit those people who are going through the recruitment process, because you might be being asked to make a presentation to secure that job. So head on in there. Go on, Trisha, hit us with the tip number 1.
Awesome. Absolutely. Okay. So this is a little something that I have put together. And in fact, it's actually a real case scenario that we were working together with one of my clients, where it was for an interview. So they were asked to put together their 30, 60, 90-day plan if they were going to be successful for the position. So you could use this again, just recapping, if you were landing an interview and to be able to showcase what you're going to be doing, or if you already are successful and you want to be able to showcase to your boss that this is what your your top priorities for the first orientation onboarding is. So it's really important that we are identifying our priorities. So what are the products, clients, and services that currently exist within the market or the business unit? What's the top 10? What is the problem or the issue that is at most risk? So, making sure that a full scope or 360-degree view of the business. Of course, the competitive landscape. You want to make sure that you know the competitor so that you've got that edge. And then evaluating the landscape. So if there are any product success stories that have really worked, perhaps failures or something that hasn't worked, so that might know for your first 90 days it's a no-go area until you're sort of well established into the industry. And then, of course, making sure that you are aware of setting up quarterly calls. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. So you're setting up quarterly calls so that then you are kept in line. And I know that might be far away, thinking, Trisha, why is it important to set up quarterly calls? But if you don't prioritize and schedule that in advance, trust me, you get so busy and hectic that you forget about these things.
Fantastic. Love that tip. That fantastic tip number one. And if you're watching this and perhaps maybe you're hearing this for the first time, then let us know in the chat. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. And hit that like button if you're enjoying the content that Tricia and I are creating and helping you, because our aim really is to help you stop struggling and so that you can start thriving, not only during the recruitment process, but also once you land those dream job offers as well. So thank you, Tricia, for that. So that's tip number one, which is identifying top priorities. So what's tip number two, Tricia? What have you got for us?
So I think that it's really important that you know your market position. So understand, is your company shrinking? Is it growing? Is there any challenges, maybe from a regulatory point of view? And again, my daughter's in the background.
She's giving you a cheering yes. She's like, yes, mummy. Yes, mummy. That's exactly what we need to do.
That's it. Understand the market strategy. So we really need to know, what is it? Is it a distributor-based organization, or using third-party vendors, etc., or are you purely going to market as the company itself? You're not involving other organizations to support your strategies. And you need to be knowing, is there any regulations or regulators within the industry that might be law abiding, that you need to be aware of, that you're following the correct corporate governance, correct policies and procedures, that you're not just coming in and going out just because my old organization did it this way, that the company is you're now working for does it the same way. So it's important to, you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, as you say. And then, of course, making sure that you know the employees within your organization. So there's no point sitting at your desk and, head down and not having a meet and greet. You want to know who is your direct reports and their reports above that, your reporting line, and then cross-functional roles. Is there any other business units that you would be in frequent discussions with? And try to know their names. In the first 30 days, it's important that you're addressing these people by their name.
Fantastic. I love that sort of kind of market position. Both you've talked about internal as well as external as well, Tricia. So I'm loving that. And just sort of kind of quickly before we move on to tip number three, okay, who could benefit this sort of kind of video? Who's going to benefit? Who should be watching this? Who should be sort of kind of soaking in this knowledge and then applying the techniques and the tips and the hacks that we're giving today? Who would really benefit from this, Tricia?
Yeah, so I guess at the end of the day, if you've already landed a position, so if you've signed that contract, you're ready to go, you can start doing a little bit of homework as much as you can before you start, before your orientation period. There's so much information online about this, or you could, invite people for a meet and greet, quick coffee, just ask for 15 minutes of their time so that you can gather some baseline information, so that the first 2 weeks you're at least briefed about the company that you're going in, and not reliant on the orientation. Because sometimes, not all these companies are set forth and set up for amazing onboarding processes.
100%. And what I would add to what Tricia's already said for our viewers is that, these techniques and these tips that we're sharing with you today, these top 5 tips, this applies to anybody, I would say primarily who's sort of kind of applying for, has successfully achieved a job in sort of kind of middle management and executive positions and above. Usually this is what it sort of relates to. And it's across the board. It's not sector specific. You could be working in finance, you could be working in hospitality, you could be working in health, education. These techniques, these tips will help each and every one of you. So keep joining in and stay till the end, because we do have an extra sort of mindset bonus that we'll be wrapping up with today as well. So we've covered tip number 1, tip number 2, which is identify top priorities. Tip number 2 was market position. So what's tip number 3?
So I think it's important that, you get a grasp of who your customers and stakeholders are from an external perspective. So, making sure that they also know that you're now part of the team. So customer relationship management, these days we have been hiding behind our emails. We've been stuck on LinkedIn, chit-chatting, trying our best to get these jobs. And now all of a sudden, it's time to build that relationship. So pick up the phone. Yes, drop an email, but if you can, try and schedule a visit if you're obviously capable or able to be able to do that. So building that relationship, that trust, etc., from a CRM perspective. I think it's also really important that you are, visiting the top accounts. So key account management, visit those top clients that are bringing in the extra dollars, the revenue generators, etc. Access their media releases and, be informed about their business, because if you put them at the heart, they feel more valued, and therefore repeat business is more likely to occur. As well as this, and I'll pause, I know I'm talking a lot here, all in one spell, but meet your vendors, because at the end of the day, if you're in, a B2B partnership, it's important to establish the word partnership and not that they are a client or a customer to your company. You are a partner with them.
Love that, Trisha. As you said, the heart of any good success stories that we see time and time again is always centered around relationship building. So I love that. So what's tip number 4?
I think also, if you are in a people or a leadership position, have direct reports, it's important that you get to know them. So book or schedule a one-to-one meeting, take them out for a coffee, get to know them a little bit, on a personal level as much as you can, or professionally allowed to be, so that you develop rapport and trust with them, and not just direct, to the business approach. I think if you build trust with them, it'll go a long way into your next, journey within the organization. So if you're
I love that, Trisha. I love that, Trisha, about building trust. It's so key, isn't it? Because trust is earned, as is respect. And so, if you are wanting to be taken seriously, that building that trust, that tip number 4 about building trust, it's so vital. And I can't think of any relationship, whether it's business, personal, family, where if you don't invest that time, you're not going to see that. So I love that, building trust. And then finally, tip number 5 for today. What have we got? I know we've got more than this. So if you're watching this, there is way more tips that we have. And if you're interested and you want to learn more about, how you can do this, and you want you're learning, you're growing from this, perhaps you've got questions for us. If you do, pop them in the comments, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Even if it's just you're finding the information that we're sharing with you today absolutely valuable, and it's helping you as well. But if you're looking for that more personal service and hand holding, there is a way at the end that we'll talk about how you can get in touch with both Trisha and I and get that that personalized one-to-one support as well. But today, just finally, tip number 5, what have you got for us, Trisha?
So I think it's really important that you are reviewing your customer satisfaction. So this might come at, say, the 90-day mark rather than, the 30 or 60 days. So after 3 months within being the organization, you want to be reviewing the customer satisfaction. So working out, is there any problems or bottlenecks? And if there are, how can you quickly resolve that? Because at the end of the day, you want to come across as exceeding or excelling within your role. And if you can fix something quickly, it's a big tick off your own KPIs.
Love that. Oh my God. Wow. Boom. Did you enjoy that, everybody? Have you got any comments for us? Have you got any questions for us? Please do use the chat feature on whatever platform that you're watching us on. We promised as well. So there you have it. 5 steps, 5 ways of how to thrive in your new job. And we've explored a little bit. We've just really hit the tip of the iceberg, where we've looked at the real reason why landing a job offer doesn't always guarantee career success. Because if you don't do the things that we've talked about here today, the benefits are for you is that it takes away that overwhelm, it takes away that confusion of what you're going to do, but it also positions you as the must-have, letting the employer know that they made the right decision when they hired you, because you were, they were selecting you out of a pool of talent, and you want to make sure that the employer feels that they made the right decision. And so by having your 30, 60, 90-day action plan of what you're going to deliver, it's going to prove that point with ease and without the overwhelm. Now, I promise that I'd give you a quick mindset hack. Now, one of the things that I would see, and Trisha and I see all the time, and perhaps maybe you're feeling this way right now, is that you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, you're feeling a little bit anxious. Maybe you're now absolutely kind of petrified that you're like, oh my God, and like, I've got the job now what do I do? And perhaps maybe you're having a little bit of imposter syndrome as well, anxiety going on. Meditation can be a great tool to use to sort of kind of calm yourself, but also as well get yourself into what I call career flow. So that's my top tip. If it's not something that you're doing already, please do explore. There's amazing apps out there right now. And if you want to know some apps that Trisha and I like to use, then let us know. Again, pop it in the comment and we'll share that with you. But that's all for today. So thank you for joining us. And Trisha, any final thoughts before we say goodbye to our viewers for today?
Let us know what else you would like us to cover. We are very responsive. We're happy this is for you. If you would like any support in building your personal brand with your job application, CV, cover letter, LinkedIn, please let me know. I'm more than happy to support you. And yeah, let's keep connected.
Fantastic. And we talked about, if you're looking for that one-to-one personalized support, head on over to either my LinkedIn profile or Trisha's LinkedIn profile, where we have a whole ton of services and various different ways of how we support our clients on a one-to-one basis to take them through each stages as well. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.